Are we live? I think we're live.
And we're live. Back at it again with the white sweater. Anyway.
I thought it was the white Vans.
It is, but you're wearing a white sweater.
Oh. Ha 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 ha.
Anyway.
Your hair is starting to grow out again. You're starting to look very, you know the word.
I don't know the word. Anyway.
Whatever. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
I stole his line. Welcome back to the Spiritual Love Podcast. We still have not thought of an intro, nor has his friend created us an intro, which is crazy. We were waiting on that for a year.
I'm so tired.
I'm going to try to not blow your eardrums out, okay? I'm sorry. I just see the things spiking over here, and I'm like,
oh, yeah.
Caution.
Anyway.
Anywho.
We're back.
Like I said, welcome back to the Spiritual Love Podcast. This is episode 13. If you guys have made it this far, thank you for tuning in to our videos. We hope that you subscribe to our channel. Because it's only 4 of y'all subscribe. And we thank you. No, but all seriousness, we do really thank you guys for looking at our videos. Because this is something that God called both of us to do. And this is a vision and a dream that we're starting to see come into life, and it's nice being able to, experience it together. So
it is.
Yeah. But anyway, let's hop straight into the video. No banter today. So today's topic is going to be about identifying the people around you. So really the premise of our message today is your support system, your circle, the people that you have in your life and that are around you. Are they draining you or are they supporting you?
Yeah.
Have you ever had anybody in your life that drained you or supported you in like a friendship setting? I could think of one right off the bat, or even.
I thought that was your chair. It's your chair.
Was it? I thought it was a bird, bro. No. I'm like, what the heck is that? Crazy. Anyway, so I could think for you one right off the bat in the beginning of our relationship.
Oh yeah.
Like even in the situation of like someone trying to deter you from doing something that you know you should be pursuing, but they're trying to put their own negative takes into it to kind of deter you from doing it. But what's an experience that you've had? I think it's because I'm turning the chair.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm going to stop doing that. It's like,
yeah, it is. It's crazy. But like, yeah. So it's like there's two kinds of friends. There's the ones who they like leech off of you and kind of like ride your coattails to success, or the ones who say they're there, but they really secretly be like, I hope you, like they're get like jealous and stuff.
Well, two types of bad friends, I think you mean.
Oh yeah, two types of bad friends.
I've definitely had in the instance of like two types of friends who I've had people who have leached off of me, and then I've had people who, what was the other one? You said
like people who like pretend to support you, but like secretly.
I've had that too. Yeah, I've experienced that. Have you ever experienced anything like that?
Not to my knowledge, at least, because I know like I had friends.
I know y'all be like, I feel like Logan ain't got nothing going on.
No, like, because I've had friends that like we hang out and stuff, but it's like that it was never any substance to it. They were more like acquaintances and stuff.
Right.
It's like there was never like a, hoping you would take, win and stuff like that. I guess it really wasn't friendship. It was more like acquaintances and stuff.
So I have a question for you. Have you ever realized someone close to you was only there for what you could offer them? How did you come to that realization?
Only there was something I could offer. I mean, I guess I've had like friends in high school and stuff, and even in college, where it's like I was only beneficial if I could help them do stuff. Like I had a friend in one of my classes that would like, it was only there or to only talk to me if like I could help them study and get stuff done. But if it was anything to do with that, it was like,
it's like I don't want nothing to do with you.
Right. Yeah, stuff like that. It's like, yeah.
Okay,
it's like a transactionary relationship with your friends and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you're only there based on what you can provide for them in that moment.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I feel that. I feel like I had a friend like that too in college. For other purpose, it was like because we were in Eastern Shore and stuff. So like whenever I would drive home and stuff, that was like the only time I would hear from her. And I was just like, okay, like I ain't hear from her any other time at school. But that was something small. But this is so annoying, this chair. I'm about to like literally stop this video just to switch with him.
No, you're good. It's fine.
Can we switch chairs?
No, it's fine.
Are you sure?
You're good. Yeah.
He's like, I'm not doing all that.
Well, yeah. So anyway, next thing. So you ever seen subtle signs like someone was like preying on your downfall low key, and like you kind of noticed it?
Yeah, honestly, no. Like in that moment, I feel like I have like a bias opinion when it comes to my friends. Like in those moments, I'm like, I could never think that somebody close to me could do something bad to me. And I always try to see like the best in people. So in those moments that somebody was doing something towards me, I never thought of it as, oh, they're doing this maliciously. You know what I mean? And it wasn't until like after the fact where I was like, oh, that was definitely a thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I would say no. But as far as signs, I would say like if you have a friend and you have a dream or some type of ambition that you want to go for. I mean, some type of goal you want to go for. And your friend is shooting that goal down. And they've heard everything that you believe in this dream and everything like that. And even if you tell them something like, God sent me to do this or whatever. And they're just like, no, you shouldn't do that. Yeah, I feel like in those instances, you should know that your friend is probably not looking out for your best interest.
Sometimes it's not like outright, no, you shouldn't do that. Because sometimes it'd be like, hey, I want to do this. And you'd be like, are you sure you want to do that?
Or they'll even deter you from reaching that goal.
Yeah. Or like, it'll be like, that stuff's really hard to get into. I don't know if you can really do it. A lot of people fail. It's like, it's not necessarily like outright, no, you can't do that. It's sometimes like really subtle, like second guessing. Your decisions and stuff, because we already hear that stuff with like successful people now. It's like whether it's entrepreneurship, professional athletes, or singers or whatever it is, a lot of people would say stuff like that. So sometimes it's not necessarily like an outright, you can't do that, you'll never make it. Sometimes it is more subtle, where you might not pick it up at first.
It could be as subtle as like, say you tell your friend, oh, I want to read my Bible more, I want to stay in the house more, go to church more and stuff like that, and then the next Saturday they're like, you want to go to the club, you want to go do this, you want to go drink, you want all the things that you said that you didn't want to do anymore. It's like almost as if they're trying to like they're not supporting you in your transition.
Yeah, because it's like if you have someone who's trying to suck you back into bad habits after you told them you don't want to do it anymore. Yeah, it's like it's actually a quote in The Godfather, actually. I can't remember who said it, but the guy was like, just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. That's what he said. But yeah, it's like sometimes people try to pull you back into bad habits, even though you said you don't want to do that anymore. Yeah. That's why you got to realize because a true friend will be there for you, whether it's good or bad. Yeah. Or even if you have like time apart. Like I have friends that are like, live 1,000 miles away, we still talk. Yeah. So it's like a real friend's gonna be there with you no matter what, highs and lows. And that's in the Bible. It does tell you, like, really the Bible literally gives you like a handbook on life, because it literally talks about everything, like even your friendships, like Romans 12:15, rejoice with those who rejoice, mourn with those who mourn. So it's like showing true friendships are going to be there with you in the times of celebration and success, and they're also going to be there with you
in the hard times. Yeah.
Because like, if say you have a successful business or like a podcast or like you doing something where you're at, and then something bad happens and you lose it. those friends are still gonna be around hanging out with you or not?
Right.
You know,
like what reasons are they there for?
Yeah, or are they gonna be like, you're not famous anymore. You don't have a lot of money anymore. You lost. Yeah.
Because the other hand of a bad friend is also people who will mooch off of you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes they want you to push for that success and to be in these bigger positions because they are going to benefit from it in some type of way. So it's like important to watch out for those people too. And that could be in relationships too. Like a lot of these athletic players and stuff be having girls all of a sudden be in love with them and trying to get married and stuff.
Yeah.
And really they just want a paycheck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like you
like
got to watch out for people like that too.
Yeah, like knowing dang well if he wasn't an athlete, they wouldn't even look at what.
Yeah.
like
what's that guy name?
Oh yeah, Travis Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like his girlfriend and stuff, like the party situation, and like he would like wait for her outside parties and stuff. And
which was crazy.
Okay. Yeah,
but let's dive into segment 2. Let's not get too far off topic.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what real support looks like. So what's the difference between being used and being genuinely supported? What does real accountability from a friend look like in your life?
Like,
or we'll say real support from a friend look like in your life.
Well, like Mimo, for example, like that's his.
Shout out Mimo.
Yeah, like he'll watch the podcast and he actually posts it on Facebook. Like that's what support look like. Or like even just like a simple comment or liking or following or just like all of those things. Or just like yesterday, he was playing the game with his friend and his friend told him like, oh, hey, the podcast, there's something messed up with the podcast. Yeah. Literally informed him and let him know so that we could fix it. And he could have literally just watched it and been like, whatever. But the fact that he took the time to watch it and actually gave that information that we needed to know in order to make sure we put out the best videos for you guys possible, I thought that was a really good supportive moment. Yeah, or even like simple like, I'm gonna think about doing this podcast and be like, that's simple, like, all right, go for it, you can do it, you know what I mean? That's support. But like if it's like I said before, I'm thinking about doing this podcast and y'all like, are you sure you want to do this? People are not gonna watch that. That's, you know what I mean? But that's not to take away from actual like good criticism. Yeah. You know, like if I said I want to do this podcast and I'm like, I'm gonna buy a $400 microphone, I'm like, well, maybe you could start off with this $100 one. You know what I mean? Like,
right, and that's a good way of saying like you're still supporting your friend and everything, but you're just letting them know, hey, do this in the smartest way possible. It's not shooting down their dreams or anything. It's just saying like, hey, be aware, move smart, move slower. Like you're just starting off, you don't need that. But that's like a good supportive way
like
of.
We bought this Yeti mic and we have a laptop that's not a $2,000 MacBook.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it gets the job done.
Well, this
it was
better
still
than a MacBook, I feel like.
Yeah. But the PC, but like, you know, some people be like, right off the bat, I'm gonna buy the most biggest, expensive.
And it's just like start wherever you can, whatever is affordable for you. But yeah.
Yeah. So, do you have anyone that was ever like? Did you ever like have a goal? And someone in your corner was like, and you felt like you couldn't do it. Someone in your corner was like pushing you to actually go.
Yeah. Marcella for sure. Like with the whole, you know how I wanted to do social media for a while before me and you were dating and everything, and I dabbled into it and everything, but she was always there like, oh, make the video, make the content, put it out there, even if it's like mediocre or nobody's looking at it, like put it out there, you know, give it all you got or whatever. So she was always that support system that I needed. But I've also on the other side had people like, oh, you're doing YouTube, you know that it's like a 1 in a million chance that you'll become famous, right? Oh, you're doing this, you know that you probably won't, you know, I've had that too from family members at that. So sometimes, you know, water is thicker than blood. But it wasn't even about the fact, because now I'm at the point where I know that path, I feel like God had a whole different path for me, and that was for God to show me that. Still doing social media in a sense with this and stuff like that, but as far as what I was doing before, I just feel like cause so I had two different like platforms. So I had, the first one was just like a lifestyle thing, and then the second one was like basically doing what we doing now, it just by myself. And I felt like when I got with you, God was like, do that together. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's why I kind of abandoned that and started to pursue this with you. And then I got the job that I got now and everything. And I was like, okay, everything is kind of moving in a different direction. So I feel like it's important to know when to let things go. But she still supported me even when I moved past it. Like, oh, okay, I support you in your decision of moving on, whatever. So yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, because I think that's why it's important to have friendships and community around you. Like the Bible says, iron sharpens iron. That's another thing. I like a lot of people, a lot of phrases or common themes. People will literally come straight out the Bible. Like there's literally this iron sharpens iron. Let me see which verse it was, because I'm really bad at remembering stuff.
Well, while you're on the mission of looking that up,
oh yeah, my bad. It's Proverbs 27:17. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. So it's like you can use that opportunity to build each other up, make each other better and stronger, to keep pushing through whatever it is you got going on.
Yeah. Can you look up Acts 2:42 through 47? So Acts 2:40 verse 42 through 47 says, the fellowship of believers, and they devoted themselves to the apostles, teaching, and the fellowship, to the breaking of the bread and the prayers. And all came upon every soul, and many wonders and signs were being done through the apostles. And all who believed were together and had all things in common. And they were selling their possessions and belongings and distributing the proceeds to all as any had need. And day by day, attending the temple together and breaking bread in their homes, they received their food with glad and generous hearts, praising God and having favor with all the people. And the Lord added to their number day by day those who were being saved.
That one again just shows the importance of community right there, because in verse 44, and all who believe are together and had all things in common. So when everyone was together, they broke bread together, they prayed together. And it says in verse 43, and all came upon every soul, and many wonders and signs were being done through the apostles.
I think also this is a verse that Pastor Stephen talks about quite often, where he says, God never intended for you to be alone. Yeah. He always intended for you to be in fellowship. And this right here, because at the end of the verse, it talks about how God kept adding to the people, and you could that could be people adding more people, that could be adding fruit inside of their lives. Like it could mean a ton of things. So I think it's important to have fellowship, because you never know how far you and the other person and whoever you have in your corner can go if you guys are just there supporting each other, especially supporting each other in your faith and your walk with God.
Right. And then that's even going back to Genesis, when Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. Like Adam was by himself, and God said, man shall not be alone, literally made Eve from his rib. So he's like, if you don't have community, you don't have friends, you're going to be alone. Yeah. Like, even though you have God, of course, but, like, he still wants you to have...
Yeah, he never intended us to be alone on this earth.
Right. And you still need to have human friends and stuff like that.
So let's move forward to segment 3. We're going to talk about choosing your circle intentionally. Basically, what things you need to do to intentionally choose the people that you have in your life, and maybe even some circumstances of when you know you need to remove people from your life if they're not adding to you. I don't know if you've ever heard that saying where it says if people adding to your cup to where your cup is overfilling, or are people taking away from your cup where you're left completely empty? So when people are adding to your cup and your cup overfills, then you don't feel drained at the end of the day. You know, I mean, have you ever had situations like that where maybe you had never experienced anything like that, but I've experienced where I was giving to everybody else, and at the end of the day, I felt drained from everything going on because nobody was putting back into me. And I think it's important when you're in fellowship with friends that you give, but they give back. Right. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to ever be in a situation where you feel empty.
Right, yeah, because then at that point it's like a leech. Sorry, I was looking up verses, because it was this one verse I found. Because it's like Ephesians 4:16. It says, "From him the whole body, joined and held together by every supporting ligament, grows and builds itself up in love as each part does its work." So basically, when you're talking about community and the church as a whole, in Ephesians, it talks about how the church compares the church to a body. So like you have a human body, has ears, it has feet, legs, arms, and they all do a job. Mm-hmm. And each one supports itself. Like your legs support your torso and that allows you to walk, and then your arms support your hands so you can grab stuff. So like as a church body, you have community and people there to help you and support you as a whole.
Yeah, I like that.
Because you can't have... The church isn't just one person.
I can hear it farting.
You can't have a whole church body of just one person. Like, as your body is a bunch of different parts put together to support itself so you can carry out a task. Right. So it's comparing that to, like, the church. You need community and people around you to support each other, to love one another, and uplift each other, and help each other when you need it. Right. For example, like, when I was listening to a sermon, it was Pastor Philip a while ago. I don't remember which one it was, but essentially a good example of the church helping each other. They had an individual who something happened where they lost their car, they couldn't use their car anymore.
I think you remember you telling me this. And so he gave him a car?
So he didn't. They didn't have a car and were struggling to get a car to go find jobs and stuff. So the team, I don't remember what he calls teams down there. Like a lot of churches have prayer team, like different teams, different groups. Yeah. The group came together, and this particular person,
the dream team.
Together. Yeah, it's like his version. I don't remember what he calls it. Yeah. But her, I don't remember if it was him or her, but their group came together, put in money enough to get them a used car.
That's nice.
I don't know if it was used or new, but like they got them a car so that he or she could go out and have more access to jobs and stuff, right? Because they were down on their luck. So it's like that's a good example of the church body helping each other, right, and supporting each other. And that's the same with your friendships too. Like I'm not saying go buy your friend a car, but like if they need help, you should be there for them.
Yeah, for sure. I think support doesn't just go one way; it has to go both ways. Like he said, in order for the body to function, you need everybody to work a certain part of the body. And if you feel like the support you're giving is not equating to what your friend is giving, or even vice versa, then those are some things that you need to reassess, because I feel like it should be an equal playing field. You know what I mean? Like, I've been in situations where I've had people where I would give to them, more so relationships, but I would give to them, and I would never receive anything in return. And I'm the type of person where I didn't really care, but it does start to affect you after a while, because it feels like, I don't want to say you care more, but essentially it feels like you care more. You know what I mean? Right. So just make sure if you're in those situations that your friend is helping you, like he said, lend a helping hand to help them when they're down.
Right, and that could be applied like not only friendship but like relationships too.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if you're in a relationship and your girlfriend or wife doesn't support you at all in anything, right? But you're doing it constantly, that's not right. That's a one-sided relationship.
Yeah, it's one-sided. Yeah. So to move into segment 3 again, choosing your circle intentionally. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard that saying, "Birds of a feather flock together." I stand behind that 10 toes down because I feel like the circle that you surround yourself with, 9 times out of 10, people that are on the outside looking in are always going to associate you with that circle and how they act. So that's another reason why it's important to know who is in your circle, because if you have people in your circle and they out here hoeing or robbing, stealing, doing crazy stuff, and you're over here trying to live a different path, people are automatically going to try to associate you with them because birds of a feather flock together. So that's why it's important to really intentionally pick the people that you have in your life. Are these people actually people who are going to support me? Are these people good people who are, leading me in the right direction? People could support you, but still be doing things that they're not supposed to be doing, or doing things that you no longer align with. And if it doesn't align in your path anymore, then it's like, why are they in your life? And I think a lot of people get afraid to let go of people, especially people who have been in their life for a long time. But I've been faced in that situation when I was, finally committing my life to God and really starting to reassess the people I had in my life. And I had friends who was out here doing crazy stuff. And I had to look back and say, you know what, Kendall, do you really want to continue to be associated with this person? Because it could lead you down this path, this path, this path. Or do we kind of just want to say, my grandmother has always said to me, people come in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And I believe that wholeheartedly with my heart, because people will come into your life for a reason, to teach you some type of lesson. And I've had a lot of relationships where people have taught me lessons that I needed to learn from my next relationship or my next friendship. People come into your life for a season. Sometimes it's meant for them to be there to help you through something, to help you through a certain season. It may be something that you're lacking in that season that person may have, and you can benefit from that. Not trying to say like you're trying to mooch off of them or anything, but it's just more so like you guys are learning together, right? But you guys aren't meant to be together, or you're not meant to stay with each other long term. And then people come into your life for a lifetime, and those are usually people who have those great influences on you, those people who are leading you in the right direction, pushing you to go towards, what God is calling you to go towards, not necessarily what the world wants you to do. So I feel like it's important to know what type of people you have in your life, and to not be afraid to let people go when it's time to let people go, And maybe it might be situations where you don't even need to let people go, because Logan has friends who, don't align with everything that he does in life. But at the same time, all of those other great qualities still stand. You know what I mean? So I think it's more so like when it's an extreme situation where that person lives their life completely different from what you want to be associated with, that's when you need to really assess it.
Yeah. I agree. So,
I can ask you one. So, what changes have you had to make in your circle in order to grow? That's a good one.
I mean, I don't think I ever really made changes. I think it was more so.
See what I mean, y'all?
Oh my God. No, I'm serious. Like, it was more like I had friends coming out of high school and going into college and stuff, and it's like we all took different paths, and you slowly dissipate. And then it's like when you talk to people, you kind of get an idea of what they're about, and then before you really want to bond with them or open up with them, you kind of discern do I really want to be friends with this person?
Right.
So you gotta kind of pick and choose the qualities and stuff. Not granted, not everybody perfect, but if you hang out with people and it's like picking it's almost like dating. You're looking for red flags and green flags, and then you're just looking for friends. You're a red flag, you're a green flag friend. You know what I mean? And I think it's a little easier to pick friends because, friends. I mean, they're friends who have boundaries, so it's not like you gotta move with them and go to life together. But there's friendships, you can have that friendship distance. So I think it's a little easier to, discern.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah.
You just gotta pick and choose. But yeah. Yeah, and then I think in the church you also have to, I think people need to do a better job at like talking to people and how they treat people in the church. Like, because I know a lot of new people deter from going there because they don't want to be judged or they don't feel welcome there. Because I think a lot of church folks will be like, you live this way, so you can't come in here. You're going to, this, that, and the other's going to send you to hell and stuff. And it's not, it's not really a welcoming.
Yeah. No.
Welcome to church. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. But let's not dive too much into that because that's going to be a video in itself. As a matter of fact, I think that might be next week's video. Just talking about, I forgot what the actual topic was, but just talking about the church and how they can deter. I don't want to say the wrong word thing, but we'll talk about it next week. You guys will see.
But like, it applies to your friends too, because you gotta, or the community you're around with, because if you're just an off-putting person, you're just very, I don't want to say blunt, because sometimes bluntness is needed, but like, you don't want to be the type of person that just pushes everybody away from you. If you're just not a nice person, then no one's gonna want to be your friend. If
nobody wants to be around you, you're probably the problem. But I also think that some people may use getting rid of friends as an excuse. And it's just like, sometimes those friends are really good friends in the sense of like you said, boldness or broadness, where you are standing 10 toes down on whatever you saying to your friend, and your friend kind of just don't want to hear it, so they decide to just push that person away or whatever. And it's like, I feel like in certain situations you can't do that. You know what I mean? Because sometimes people are really looking out for your best interests, and sometimes you blocking yourself from experiencing those different blessings or those different things that you're going to have in your life if you don't listen to the people around you. Like, some people do be out here for bad, like not for good, and they be trying to manipulate the situation, but some people out here really be knowing what they're talking about. And sometimes you never know who God is using around you to tell you a message or something. Like, God doesn't only come to you in visions and dreams and in prayer, but God can use the people in your life to bless you or to teach you a lesson or to tell you something that you need to know. You know what I mean? And I don't mean teach you in a lesson in a bad way, but you know what I mean? Like,
because there's a verse in Proverbs 27:5. Proverbs 27:5. Open rebuke is better than hidden love. So you need to be able to, when people criticize you, they're trying to help you, you need to be open to it. Yeah. Because it's better. Oh my God. It's better to take that correction than, someone being like, no, yeah, you're fine, knowing dang well it's not good. Yeah. And it could be little stuff as like, does my outfit look okay? And like, yeah, sure. And you look crazy. Yeah. Or like, if you wanted genuine advice on starting a business and stuff, and people are like, oh yeah, that's what you're doing is fine, because you want to be nice.
Yeah, like kiss up energy, or just they're scared to say the wrong thing because they don't know how you're going to react. Yeah. Because
you got to be able to take that correction and be like, open to advice, open to, or if you're doing something wrong, you need to be open to correction versus don't tell me what to do.
And that's easier said than done, because I feel like when you're in those situations, it's always going to feel like a knife going into your chest, like, who are you to tell me this? But at the same time, you gotta I'm a doctor. No, but sometimes you gotta really think about what that person is saying. And even if it's like a situation like we said to you, I don't know, I think 2 episodes ago, where you just have to say, I appreciate that advice. I'm going to sit and I'm going to think on it. And just not say anything to that person, even if it offended you in that moment. Don't say anything so that it's not, so you're not giving off of, like a defensive response. You know what I mean? So just take it and, the camera's about to die.
We're almost done. Go.
Yeah, but I don't know how long it's going to do that. Anyway, but just make sure you don't have a defensive response when it comes to those things, and make sure you're kind of just, calm, think about it, and then come back to it later. But we are at the end of our video. We hope that you guys enjoyed this video. The camera is dying.
It's about to die.
So make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment down below. Share with your friends, share with your family, share with everybody. I don't care. But we just want you to share. Yeah. And we hope that you guys tune in for episode 14 next week. See you later. Deuces.
See you.